Hey guys, this is Zenthos. Welcome to the start of my Moveset modding tutorial series for Dark Souls 1, where I'll explain the basics of creating new movesets and how to use the necessary tools. By the end of the series, I'll go deeper and demonstrate how you can take advantage of all the systems in creative ways to brute force more complex movesets, because even though this title has harsher limitations than the newer games, you'd be surprised by its flexibility when you want to make something bad enough. This first video is going to be relatively short. I'm just going to show you where to get the tools we'll be using and introduce you to them so you know what they're for. I'm going to go kind of quickly, so just pause and rewind if you can't follow fast enough. All links to the tools will also be in the description. Let's get straight to it. Alright, first, but not really first, because you'll only need this tool if you're modding the original Prepare to Die edition. You'll need to unpack your game for modding. Again, if you're modding the Remaster, you don't need this because the game installs with all the files already unpacked. But anyway, to use this, you just put the exe in the PTDE folder and run it, in the data folder to be exact. And you'll watch the text scroll until it says completed, as it says here. So the link to this will be in the description, as I said, and if you want to download it, go to Releases, click here, and download this zip, and it'll have the exe inside. Make sure you're not downloading the source code. That goes for all of these. Now, for actually first, you'll need either Yabber or WitchyBND. WitchyBND is kind of the newer version. And this will unpack the individual files that you mod. So I'm going to be using this. I've never used Witchy, I've always used Yabber, but for the sake of tutorials, I feel like I should be using the newer tool. So yeah, we're going to try that together. So I'll go ahead and download this, and then Smithbox is the third one, or second if you didn't get this one. DSAnimStudio is its predecessor, similar to Yabber being Witchy's. I've also never used Smithbox, but again, for the sake of tutorials, I feel like I should be using the newer one. So if you want to follow along, that's what I'll be using. Download it right here. Fourth, you'll need DSAnimStudio. This one I have used. It's the only option we really have. I do want to note that if you are on Prepare to Die edition, you can't use the latest version, as far as I know. The only version I have that works is 3.0.5, so you have to go quite far back. Oh, it was still on the first page. This one, I believe. After this, yeah, it goes straight to 4.9.3, and I'm pretty sure this version broke Prepare to Die support. So yeah, unsure if that's ever gonna get fixed. Not a lot of people focus on Prepare to Die, unfortunately. It's the one I've mainly modded, but I've decided recently I'm probably gonna switch to the Remaster finally, just because it's more accessible and I don't want to leave anyone out. But yeah, so if you're on the Remaster, get the latest. If you're on Prepare to Die, get 3.0.5. There are other tools that I'm going to be using near the end of this series, but they're more advanced and they're not really explicitly for moveset editing, so I don't want to focus on them too much. It's more if you want to make like crazy movesets like I did hunting horns, just very unconventional ones, or ones that add new attacks, like new types of attacks and stuff like that. So there's one other thing I forgot to mention, but if you're modding DSR in the first place, you should probably have this mod. You may need to downpatch for it, I don't remember. I already have because it's necessary for debug mode, which is another thing I probably won't go into early on because it's not really necessary unless you're doing more advanced stuff. But yeah, so get this. It's basically just a zip you extract to your main game directory, and it'll give you a DLL mods folder and a mods folder. You put your mods here. So I've created a folder. This is my own mod. The rest are things I've downloaded. This is just my main project folder, and I'm going to be also including a download for my translated attack params that I stole from Inferno Plus, because normally they're in Japanese. So this will just make things easier for you. But anyways, yeah, sorry if that got a little unorganized. The modding tools folder is a folder I just made. It's not gonna have any effect on the game, even though it's in this folder, just because it's its name is something I made up. But yeah, so these are the 3 tools I just downloaded. Again, sorry for that disorganization. I didn't script that part. But yeah, once you got your translated attack params as well, that you'll want to put into your mod folder. Should look something like that. You can ignore this for now as well, this folder. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside WitchyBND. And if you open this exe, I believe it'll give you a bunch of options. So yeah, look, you can either just drag and drop your file to Unpack right on top of it, or you can configure a context menu. Doing the second one will save you a lot of time. And okay, yeah. Configure Windows integration. Register it. And that might be all we needed to do. So I'm just going to close it and let's see. Yep, WitchyBND. Cool, so I have Yabber already, you can see. That's what I normally do, but we're going to do WitchyBND. Alright, so what do we use Witchy on? Well, now we can pay attention to that CHR folder I have. These files in particular are not used for Witchy, but the ones in your Dark Souls Remastered CHR folder can be. So this Anibind mainly is what we'll be taking. So we can just copy the vanilla one from our regular Dark Souls Remastered CHR folder, head over to our mod folder. This is going to be our main project folder. I just called mine ZMod to make it clear, but go to your CHR folder, paste it, and now you can see we can WitchyBND this. And it tells me operation completed, so we press any key, and wow, that's a lot of files. I don't know what these ones are for. I'm assuming that they're automatic, so I'm gonna delete these ones. They don't match that. I think Witchy has like the capability of unpacking FFX and stuff too, so ignore that. We'll just use this one. And if you go inside TAE News x64, this is the list of all TAEs. So let's say we want to make a brand new moveset. I'm going to take something, I'm going to take like the smallest file and use that as a base. So we can sort by size. 87 appears to be really tiny, so I'm going to copy paste it, sort by name again, and just find something that's free, something that's not used. Looks like pretty much everything up to 137 is used, give or take. Yeah, I'm not really seeing room anywhere else, so we'll go to 138, or 137, sorry. A137 is what we rename our copy to. And then we go into this XML in the root folder of the unpacked folder. Go here, open it. I'm using Notepad++. I would highly recommend it. I didn't mention at the beginning of the video because I feel like anyone modding Any game should have it. But yeah, scroll down to where you see A136. I'm gonna highlight from here to the next one above, right before it, and Control D to duplicate. Change this to a 7, change this to a 7. So now this whole bit is a whole copy of this, but with 7s. 137, that's our ID. Go ahead and save it. And when we go back to the CHR folder, we can Witchy, and it's now repacked the Anibind. So we have a backup now of the original and the new one. Date modified 950, yep. Okay, so now we have a new TAE, which is a basically moveset override category. Now to look at what that is, I'm going to go back to modding tools and open DSAnimStudio. So if I open this, we're going to want to open that project. So it's in my mods, ZenMod, CHR, open that one, and game data directory. This is where you're going to want to open your DSR folder. Mod directory, I will go ahead and do that. So go here, ZenMod, save, and do this, and do this. I believe you want to check both. Then just hit apply. It's going to ask which Anibind you want to edit, or which character model matches that one. C000, that's just for the player, so yes. So once you've opened it, go ahead and go to edit and collapse all TAE sections. That will close all these so you can actually see the names of the TAE. And if you scroll to the bottom, you see our new one, 137, and it's T-posing. That's because the animation it's trying to reference is 137.3300. You might be wondering what all these numbers mean. I'm going to link you this page of the wiki. It'll be in the description as well, and it kind of tells you what each ID does. So you can read through it if you want, but basically if it starts with a 3, it's the right hand. If it starts with a 4, it's both hands, and if it starts with a 5, it's left hand. So 3 for right hand, and then 300, that is the first heavy attack. So 137.3300 would be TAE category 137, attack ID 3300. And its name is referencing 87, since that's the TAE we copied from, but it's not using that animation. So if we wanted to use that animation, we can override the HKX, which is basically the animation file, by checking this box and then just pasting the 87 animation ID into here. We apply, and we click on it again. You can see that now an animation is loaded, and it looks like it's the Dragon Bone Fist R2. These ones, 3301 and 3310. 3301 is strong attack after a quick attack, so it's like if you do R1 and then R2, you get this one. 3310 is just the second R2, so if you press R2 the second time, you'll get that one. Both of these are clones of 87 at the moment, because Dragon Bone Fist just uses the same one for each. For custom stuff, of course, we're going to want these ones to match our custom one, so 137 for both of these. And I just saved, I created a backup, but yeah, now our custom thing is the same as Bone Fist. We can probably do something to make it more unique. So let's, my idea is let's take the trail from Quelaag's furysword and put it on it, because that'll be really obvious. Now to find out what category Quelaag's furysword uses. Let's go to our mod folder again and find our modding tools. Open up Smithbox. Looks like there's even a low requirements version. That's cool. But I'm gonna open somewhere in here. There's an exe. I would also recommend creating a shortcut. Just search for it. Create a shortcut. Date modified. There it is. I'm going to cut and paste it into my modding tools folder so I don't have to find it every time. So just open it. And this is my first time seeing it too, so bear with me. Black screen right now, just wait. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to call mine just DSR mod, like that. Go ahead and open the project directory and locate your mod folder. Mine is ZenMod again. Game executable. Go to your Dark Souls Remastered folder and just click on that. This is my downpatch version, but it doesn't really matter. And if you used my translated params as a base, you don't want to check this box, because I already have, and I had to replace the attack param ones. Yeah, this is the map editor. We're not going to be hanging out here. We're just going to go straight to param editor. Go to equip param weapon, and if we search Quelaag, you see all the different versions of your furysword. So this is a lot of stuff. It's kind of overwhelming at first, but if you just search spAtkCategory, like that, spAtkCategory, that's the category, 56. And we can pin this value to the top so you never have to search for it again. So now it's here on every weapon. If you want to look at Shotel, whatever, 99, Jagged Ghostblade uses 100, etc. So I'm going to take 56, and then we're going to look for 56, so scroll up, and I'm just going to take one of the trails from the R1, which is its first ID, 3000, and we're going to look for something with SFX in the name. There's going to be like a spawn FFX. This is probably it. I can't remember off the top of my head which one of these it is. They're both different effects. I'm going to take both. Just copy them. And then paste in here. Control C and Control V. And looks like it had it spawn way before the swing. So I'm going to put mine way before the attack as well. But then we just save, and we can go back to Smithbox and decide on a weapon to give that to. I'm just going to pick Zweihander as a test. So let's change the 0 to a 137, and then save all modified params. And now when we open our game, we can look and see if it worked. Alright, so here we are in game, and you can see if I press R2, we do the bone fist thing, and we get the cool trail. It actually looks a lot better than I thought it would. You know, silliness aside, with the motion not really fitting a sword. But the trail looks really good on this weapon. You can see it worked on the second R2, it should also work on the R1 R2. But yeah, there's so much you can do. That is just the very basics. I will go into more detail and show you guys how you could set up, show you guys how you can set up attack param behaviors. Probably go into bullets a little bit as well. But those will be for another video. Hopefully that wasn't too hard to follow and you guys enjoyed it. There are a couple of reasons I decided to start the series, and really it just comes down to I want to see more people modding this game, because everyone's focused on Elden Ring these days, and I think a lot of people overestimate how hard it is to get into. Like, they're just afraid to start because they don't really have direction. So hopefully this is enough direction for you to get started, And if you have any questions, I'm going to put both server names Discord in the description as well as my own. Server name is just the general From Software modding server. Highly recommend using that first. My server is more just a general server focused on my mod, but feel free to show your own mod stuff there. And I'm probably more likely to see it because it's my server. Yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And it'll create a backup.